This week on The Fever, we're pronghorn antelope hunting in southern Alberta. This week, we're hunting pronghorn antelope in southern Alberta. It's going to be classic. I've waited 12 years for this draw. And the nice thing about it is that they manage this resource in such a way, while the wait is long to get the tag, when you finally do get your draw, odds of getting an exceptionally big buck are excellent. Stay tuned. We've got some amazing bucks already spotted. It's going to be an excellent show.
The Fever is brought to you by Stampede Toyota, APA Archery, PJ Trailers, Stealth Cam Digital Scouting Cameras, Traeger Wood-Fired Grills, Vortex Optics, Affordable Hydrovac, K&K Food Liners, Al's Hot Shot and Trucking Services, Domax Construction Equipment, Smith Game Calls, and these other fine partners.
We're down here in southern Alberta today with my good friend Chris Tucker. Good to see you again, Chris. And my oldest boy, Lane Folden. This hunt means a lot to me because it's the first time doing a hunt for antelope. I've been waiting 12 years for my draw. It's so cool to share this moment with my son. My buddy Chris has grown up down here. We've talked about this hunt for a long time, and you grew up here, you know all the good spots, and you've been scouting all summer. You think we got some good bucks lined up?
Yeah, you know, I've been out a couple times, come across quite a few pretty good antelope, so I think we got a pretty good chance of putting a good one on the ground.
Nice, that's what we like to hear. Chris is always out here bow hunting, looking for mule deer, so he's been gracious enough to keep his eyes peeled for me for antelope. We've had a pretty good time the last couple of days. We've been looking around, seeing the countryside, getting to know the lay of the land. Now, you said you had a particular goat put aside for me because both Chris and myself like oddities. You say he's pretty unusual.
Yeah, we found him about 2 weeks ago, just out driving the coulees, and out comes Boomerang.
Boomerang Buck, yeah. What does he look like?
He's a pretty interesting goat. His one side comes up straight out of his head, and the other side comes straight out over top of his nose.
Bends forward, eh?
Yeah.
Nice, yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing that buck. We'll put eyes on him. We've secured landowner permission where he's been seen the last couple of weeks, so we'll go have a peek for him yet this afternoon, see what we can find. And how about you, young man? You having fun shooting chickens?
Yeah.
What do you think of hunting down in this country, Lane?
Lots of shooting.
Lots of shooting, and it sure is different from the forest where we live up home. It's going to be a great trip. I can't wait for what the next 3 days holds for us. Awesome. Let's get at it. Nice work. Hold it up. What'd you find? Pretty bird. Hunting kids. Just like regular kids, only cooler.
This segment of The Fever is brought to you by Stampede Toyota. This segment is brought to you by StealthCam digital scouting cameras and Domax construction equipment.
12 years of waiting, finally got the big chance to go get a huge goat. So excited. We got a pretty good buck that we've been watching last night and again earlier this morning. We got a good vantage point. We're going to sneak in, do a little glassing, see if we can put him to bed tonight and maybe pull a sneak on him in the morning. Let's give it a whirl. Fight's going to be on. This little buck here got his rump hair all fluffed up, thinks he's tough, terrific. This buck over here we call Cutters. We're going to probably tune him in here pretty quick. Great buck, he's got great mass, good cutters, just cutters are a bit low. So we're just sitting here witnessing some absolutely classic pronghorn antelope rutting behavior. You can see that one big buck has been running around chasing, constantly trying to keep his does harromed up and keep those younger satellite bucks at bay. What a rush. You know, it's really amazing to see them in their natural habitat like this, watch them migrate in through the natural shortgrass prairie. They head right down into the United States in a lot of cases, you know, to get away from our tough winters. It's just so cool to come down here. I'm from the North Country, you know, in the forests. I'm used to hunting way back in the woods and bush, pursuing moose and elk and bear and things like that. And so to come down here and see pronghorn antelope and mule deer and coyotes and sharp-tailed grouse and badgers and Hungarian partridge, things that I don't see as much of in my own area, is a real treat. And it's always great to come down and make new friends and meet people and see the scene. Look at this. How cool is that? Check that out. What do you think of this, Lane? Huh?
This is cool.
It is cool.
It's way different than deer.
It is different than deer hunting up north in the woods where we sit there and freeze and wait for hours to see one come out on a cut line.
These guys are running so hard they didn't even care we're here.
Yeah, isn't that something?
They're even coming towards us.
What do you think of that back buck, Lane?
He's nice.
Well, we've already got you a couple of years of applications in. Getting your priority up there slowly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice to see.
They're getting closer.
Yeah, moving right around.
Scratch something. Get out of here.
Yep, pushing him out. Here with my friend Chris Tucker, and I just want to take a moment and say thanks so much, man.
Absolutely.
For real. Mr. Classic appreciates you keeping sticks on these goats all summer and all fall for me. I want to return the favor and take you for a bear in the spring. Tell me a little bit about this one.
Well, this is a goat we found here about a week ago. Call him Cutters.
He's got tremendous cutters.
Real long cutters. Nice mass. Carries it all the way through, but his cutters just aren't quite high enough on the base of his horn, so he just won't score as high. I think we'll go after that Boomerang Buck. He's pretty cool.
I think that's the one. I love how he's got so much character, and he's got great mass too, and his cutters are right up at the tops of his ears. I don't measure ever the success of a hunt with a tape measure, but if you're after a good pronghorn for yourself, you can use their ears and their eyes to gauge the trophy quality. You want mass that's at least as wide as the eye patch where it's dark. Ears are about 5.5 to 6 inches long. You can use that as a tape to sort of gauge the horns. If the horns have a good hook to them You can get really pleasantly surprised by gaining a couple extra inches if they hook in or hook back. It's hard to measure that, but usually the deep hook is a sign of some extra length there. Also, you want the cutters to be high. If they're too low, you'll miss those mass measurements. So if they're up around the top of the ears, you probably got a pretty good antelope for yourself. And those ivory tips are always a sign of maturity and age, and usually a great buck. So again, I don't care what they score, regardless of the species, it doesn't matter. I want something that just grabs me the first time I see it. It's like, yeah, that's the one. That Boomerang Buck sounds like that's the one.
Yeah, he's pretty cool.
He's pretty cool. Awesome. All right, let's go do some more scouting.
This segment of The Fever is brought to you by Vortex Optics.
I love this Vortex Recon. It's a 15 power monocular. So I only have one eye that works anyway, so as most guys know from the way I shoot my rifle. So this is so deadly. It's light to pack around, way lighter than any spotting scope you could ever find. I love this. You can slip it over the window of your truck, around a branch. This case, I'm going to put it right here on this fence post to stabilize that. And over my shoulder here is my target buck. I've waited 12 years for this draw, and we've seen some really nice antelope, you know, some that are maybe even pushing close to 80 inches, real good bucks. This one though is the one I decided I really wanted, because I like oddities, I like unusual things, non-typical characteristics on a deer, anything gnarly at drop tine. And this buck, what makes him so cool is his left side is very much your normal configuration, heart-shaped looking antelope. On his right side, his horn comes up where it meets the cutter on the other side, about at the top of the ears, and it curls and comes forward towards his nose. He's been chasing off these other bucks. He's got a few does he keeps all to himself. And we're just watching him over here. We're going to put him to bed tonight. Find him in the morning. This is the Boomerang Buck. What's that goat look like down there? Tell me.
Got a weird horn.
He's got a weird
kind of weird horn.
What's the coolest thing about his horn, son?
I can't wait till tomorrow. We've been watching him for like 3 hours tonight, 2 hours yesterday, a couple hours before that. I've been watching him for a while.
What a special hunt. Over a decade I've been waiting, 12 years to be exact. Finally gotten my draw. It feels amazing. I'm here with my son Lane Folden, which makes this pretty special for me. Have my dude here with me, my good buddy Chris Tucker. He's been watching for goats for me for a while, and he said he had a really special goat set aside for me, and there it is. We call him the Boomerang Buck. I'll tell you what, he might not be the biggest antelope taken in Alberta this year, but he's got a fighting chance of being in the top 10 coolest, because he is just a classic looking buck.
Quick nap and we'll be back out for him in the morning.
Classic, yeah, it's going to be deadly. Hope nothing disturbs him overnight. We're going to put this goat to bed with his does tonight, and we're going to come in from the east with the sun at our back. First thing tomorrow morning, with any luck, we'll close the deal.
This segment is brought to you by Al's Hotshot and Trucking Services and Affordable Hydrovac.
Opening day of antelope season. We were up long before the birds, had a good breakfast, got our camera gear, had our hunting gear packed. So cool. I'm doing it with my good friends Mark Sturko and Chris Tucker, of course my oldest son Lane Folden. It's pretty awesome. We just jumped up a couple of moose, chased them off, and we got the 4 antelope on the hillside over here, the nice groovy Boomerang Buck. and his 3 does. So we're just gonna wait, let it get a little brighter for better filming, and we're in position, hopefully, if nothing busts them out. Today's the big day. We might be here for 45 minutes or an hour. But we'll come in, down in here, we'll get a shot. If we just sit here and wait, they might drop into this space and come towards us, and we can close the deal. There's 2 moose are right down here. You see him? I think so. When he gets in where those does are, I'm going to take him. We'll let him get into that sunny patch there. Right there. I'll shoot him when he gets where the does are. You want him? Yeah. You want him? Okay. I'm gonna take him.
Love yours, baby.
Boys! Oh, we got him. Nice. We got him. We've been watching this goat we call the Boomerang Buck for days. He's got the coolest horns. There's his 3 does. We've watched him breed his does probably, I don't know, 3 or 4 different times over the last couple of days. I couldn't be happier. I'm a guy that really likes an animal that has a ton of character. I'd rather shoot a white-tailed deer that scored 150 with a bunch of non-typical junk than one that scored, say, 150 that was nice and clean. I just love character. And that's one of the things I really like about this particular antelope is how unique he looks. He's got a beautiful cape. He's just a beautiful looking animal. And you know what? He hasn't been pushed and chased all over. Antelope are one of those animals that can be so good eating if you care for them the right way. And he's going to be delicious. I can't wait. I haven't eaten antelope meat since I was just a kid. And I'm really excited about this, to get him processed and bring him home and feed my family and loved ones. Man. What a cool experience to share this hunt with my son. Thanks for being here, Lane. How cool was that, buddy? Come sit here and tell Dad what you think of this.
I thought first of all you missed because he didn't do anything. He just kind of stood there and looked around. I thought you hit above him or below him.
I couldn't be happier. I really couldn't. I can't wait to go get my hands on him and to discover just how cool his horns really are, because most of we've stayed back an average of 400 to 600 yards, a kilometer, watching him and just trying to see what he had, right? And you know, they turn their heads or they don't turn their heads, and when they finally do, you're not ready and whatnot, or the heat mirage makes it tough. So I'm sure he's got all kinds of really groovy, unique characteristics that we'll be able to see when we put our hands on him. I am pumped. Could not be happier. Like I often say, you couldn't kick the smile off of my face with a frozen cowboy boot right now. I have waited 12 years to do this. And it couldn't have happened to a nicer guy. I love it. Oh, he's beautiful. Look at this groovy horn. This is what calculated into us taking this totally unique and amazing pronghorn. Yeah, and I couldn't be happier. He's got these cool little knobs on his horns here. He's got good mass. He's an absolute beauty. Isn't that just the most gnarly buck? Well, as you can see, we had tremendous success. Awesome. Thanks for watching, you guys. You've been watching Southern Alberta pronghorn hunting on the Fever. We'll see you next week. Who knows what we're going to get after next. Classic, brother. We got him. It's of paramount importance. You tag the animals as quickly as you can after harvesting. It's a legal requirement. It's just the good thing to do. Dude.
What, huh? What? You don't got your tag.
I've got my black bear tag. I've got my whitetail tag and my bird license in here.
Where's your goat tag?
When I picked up my son's cow moose license, I picked up our draw tags, our antlerless mule deer tag, his cow moose draw tag, and my antelope draw tag. And they're home in my gun room, which is like 4 hours north of here, man.
Well, I got the game warden's number. You can give him a call.
Lucky Charlie! That's his antelope tag! Wouldn't you feel like a lick bag if you shot one and had your tag 4 hours away? Always bring your tag.
The Fever is brought to you by Stampede Toyota, APA Archery, PJ Trailers, Stealth Cam Digital Scouting Cameras, Traeger Wood-Fired Grills, Vortex Optics, Affordable Hydrovac, K&K Food Liners, Al's Hot Shot and Trucking Services, Domax Construction Equipment, Smith Game Calls, and these other fine partners. For more on The Fever, check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube.